いったいった。このあれ開かない。いやうわっよし開いたぞ。うわ
Hardwired.
君の言っていることが俺にはよくわからない。
大丈夫です。
Saogiga TV. Long ago, there was a monk named Yue who could bring anything he drew to life. He quietly lived with his wife Kodo, a black rabbit in human form, and their 3 children, Yakashimaru, Kurama, and Yase. One day, the high priest of the land concluded that Mue's drawings caused too many problems for the locals and ordered him to find a solution. In response, the family secretly fled to an alternate world of Mue's own creation, the Looking Glass City. Everything was peaceful until Mue and Kodo suddenly vanished. Their 3 children are left to take care of the city, and Yakishimaru inherits Mue's name and duties. Stranded in this alternate world, their problems only get worse when a young girl, also named Kodo, crashes down from the sky and declares that she is also looking for the older Mue and Kodo. Armed with a giant hammer and 2 rowdy familiars, Kodo might just be the key to releasing everyone from this eternal paper city. Number 9. Shin no Nakama. Genres: adventure, slice of life, fantasy. A heroic and mighty adventurer dreams of opening a pharmacy? Red was once a member of the Heroes Party, a powerful group destined to save the world from the evil forces of Taraxin, the raging demon lord. That is, until one day his comrades kicked him out. Hoping to live the easy life on the frontier, Red's new goal is to open an apothecary. However, keeping the secret of his former life may not be as simple as he thinks, especially when the beautiful Rit, an adventurer from his past, shows up and asks to move in with him. Number 8. Mekyu Black Company. Genres: comedy, fantasy. Kinji, who lacks any kind of work ethic, is a layabout in his modern life. One day he finds himself transported to another world, but not in a grand fantasy of a hero welcomed with open arms. He's immediately shoved into a terrible job. Now enslaved by an evil mining company in a fantasy world, Kinji's about to really learn the meaning of hard work. Number 7. Shinkano Me, Shiranai Uchi ni Kachigumi Jinsei. Genres: fantasy. Hiragi Seichi is an ugly, revolting, dirty, smelly fat ass. These are the insults hurled at him one after another about his appearance. Such was Seichi's daily school life of bullying. Then for some reason, one day when school was out, a voice claiming to be a god said over the PA system to prepare to be transported to another world. What's more, not Seichi alone, but the entire school. A fantasy world where game-like elements such as levels, stats, and skills exist. However, the god still has preparations to complete for the transfer and would send them over as soon as the hero summoning ritual was ready. The classes all formed groups to wait for the transfer, but Seichi alone was discluded and, as such, was summoned to a different era. After being transported, the first thing Seichi ate was the Fruit of Evolution. This would come to greatly change his life. This story is about how Seichi went from being severely bullied by his classmates, even not being recognized for his accomplishments, and despite all that, staying positive and surviving in the new world. As a result, he somehow becomes one of the champions. Also, the first heroine is a gorilla? Number 6. Genjutsu Shuki Yusha no Okoku Saikenki. After the death of his grandfather, 19-year-old Kazuya Soma, an aspiring civil servant, is left all alone with no one to call family. Out of the blue, he is transported to the Elfrieden Kingdom, a small ailing country in another world, to be a hero. An ongoing war with the demon army has put the entire world in peril, and Kazuya was summoned to aid in the conflict as an offering from Elfrieden to its allies. Dissatisfied with being used as tribute, Kazuya decides to help the kingdom revamp its declining economy, not by way of adventuring or war, but through administrative reform. Genres: action, fantasy, romance. Abruptly declared the king of Elfrieden and betrothed to the princess, the realist hero Kazuya sets out to assemble a group of talented citizens who will assist him in his bureaucratic battles to get the kingdom back on its feet.
1. 安全ピンを抜く 2. 敵に向かって投げる遮蔽物に隠れて身を守る
1. 安全ピンを抜く 2. 敵に向かって投げる 3. 遮蔽物に隠れて身を守る
Ange Verge. The story of the card game follows what happens when Hyro portals suddenly open, fusing 5 different worlds together. As a result, various Exceed powers are awakened in teenage girls. An academy for these so-called progress girls is built on the isolated Saren Island in the Pacific.
So hot, I forgot what I
そうですかエリアヒールすごいこっそりと魔力を持っていかれた感覚
俺もだ傷が治ってる
Number 4. Seijo no Marioku Waba no Desu. Genres: fantasy, romance, slice of life. Since ancient times, the citizens of Salutania have lived within a shroud of miasma, a force that brings forth monsters creating havoc around the world. When the kingdom's order of knights become incapable of containing the monsters, the Grand Magus summons a holy maiden, the legendary saint, to obliterate the horrid creatures and restore peace. One evening, as Sei Takanashi returns home from a long day at work, a magical force pulls her into a foreign world. Upon her arrival to the kingdom of Salutania, she overhears that the Grand Magus inadvertently summoned 2 saints, Sei and a brown-haired girl. Needing only one maiden, the prince declares the other girl as the saint, leaving Sei to her own devices. Sei sets her sight on the Medical Flora Research Institute, an establishment known for its studies regarding herbs and potions. While indulging in her latest passion, Sei has a fateful encounter with the commander of the Third Order of Knights. But little does she know, her aptitude as a saint will continue to exert its influence over her new life.
私は退場やり遂げて
逃げろセレシアもういいヒロインも物語もやめち
Recreators. Humans have designed countless worlds, each one born from the unique imagination of its creator. Soda Mizushino is a high school student who aspires to be such a creator by writing and illustrating his own light novel. One day, while watching anime for inspiration, he is briefly transported into a fierce fight scene. When he returns to the real world, he realizes something is amiss. The anime's headstrong heroine, Celesta Eupolita, has somehow returned with him. Before long, other fictional characters appear in the world, carrying the hopes and scars of their home. A princely knight, a magical girl, a ruthless brawler, and many others now crowd the streets of Japan. However, the most mysterious one is a woman in full military regalia, dubbed Gunpuku no Himigi, who knows far more than she should about the creator's world. Despite this, no one knows her true name or the world she is from. Meanwhile, Soda and Celestia work with Meteor Asteric, a calm and composed librarian NPC, to uncover the meaning behind these unnatural events. With powerful forces at play, the once clear line between reality and imagination continues to blur, leading to a fateful meeting between creators and those they create. Isekai Shokudo 2. Genres: fantasy, slice of life. Western restaurant Nakoya is a popular eatery located on a street corner in a Tokyo shopping district. Serving both traditional Japanese fare as well as Western dishes, this eating establishment is popular among Tokyo's residents. But this seemingly ordinary restaurant is also popular with another type of clientele. While the restaurant is thought to be closed on Saturdays, the truth is that on this special day each week, its doors are instead open to the inhabitants of other worlds. From dragons and elves to fairies and mages, this restaurant has no shortage of strange customers. Nevertheless, the enigmatic chef, only known as Master, will be waiting to serve up their favorite dishes with a kind smile and keep them coming back for many more Saturdays to come. Number 5. Sword Art Online Progressive Movie, Hoshinaki Yoru no Aria. Genres: action, game, adventure, romance, fantasy. There's no way to beat this game. The only difference is when and where you die. 1 month has passed since Akihiko Kayaba's deadly game began, and the body count continues to rise. 2,000 players are already dead. Kirito and Asuna are two very different people, but they both desire to fight alone. Nonetheless, they find themselves drawn together to face challenges from both within and without. Given that the entire virtual world they now live in has been created as a death trap, the surviving players of Sword Art Online are starting to get desperate, and desperation makes them dangerous to loners like Kirito and Asuna. As it becomes clear that solitude equals suicide, will the two be able to overcome their differences to find the strength to believe in each other, and in doing so, survive? Sword Art Online Progressive is a new version of the Sword Art Online tale that starts at the beginning of Kirito and Asuna's epic adventure, on the very first level of the deadly world of Aincrad.